Does Karlie indeed have Kirk's child in her belly? After months of quiet phone conversations, late-night texts, and covert meetings, the rumors were finally exposed on public television. Fans are taken aback. Emotions were running high, tension with a knife. Everyone was curious. Was Karlie risking everything to expose a treachery that had been going on for 10 years? Or was this just another ruse for screen time? One thing became evident as the rumors developed into full-fledged conjecture. This claim had the potential to destroy friendships, split families, and derail the biggest stars on the network. Everyone is wondering what Kirk Frost would say if he were faced with the prospect of becoming a father to a child he never anticipated. When mayhem engulfed the set following Karlie's bombshell, the studio lights had just begun to fade. Kirk, Frost's heart was beating like a battle drum as he sat motionless in his chair. Karlie's eyes had glistened with tears and something fiercer, defiance, which was unexpected. With a shaky but unwavering voice, she had declared, "I'm pregnant." And Kirk Frost might be the father. As if to prevent her own voice from escaping, covered her mouth as JoJo's breaths became trapped in his throat. Every second was captured by cameras. Kirk's hands balled into fists, his neck pulse was evident, and his cheeks were devoid of color. No one said anything for a while. The world seemed to hold its breath, hardly believing what they had just heard. At last, JoJo threw his microphone on the ground and jumped up. "You believe that I am a fool?" His voice was rough with hurt as he yelled. "You believe I would parent someone else's child? Have you gone insane, Karlie?" Karlie got up from her chair and gestured at him with a quivering finger. "Joker, stop acting like the victim. Did you ever stop me from living a lie when you knew there were rumors going around?" "No. You were too preoccupied to pay attention to the cameras. It's my time now." The sound of his jacket snapping as he pushed away from the set echoed like a gunshot as Jock rushed off stage. The host made a valiant effort to reassure the cast members who were still in shock. His voice faltered as he begged, "Let's take a moment. We need time to think about this." However, the harm was already done. With videos playing on innumerable feeds with titles like Kirk's pregnancy accusation, Karlie's shocking revelation, and does Kirk have a secret child on the way, social media accounts became viral in a matter of seconds. Backstage, Kirk collapsed into a makeup chair, his energy seemingly collapsing inward. "Kirk, we need to talk," said a stylist as she gently... Kirk shook his head and scratched his temples, saying, "No, I can't. Not right now." The stylist gave a blink. "You must reply to this. Rasheeda, the show, and your audience all depend on you." Kirk's voice cracked as he closed his eyes. "My side? I don't recall much about Karlie other than the fact that we were nice. After maybe 1 or 2 drinks, we had a good time. However, a pregnancy? A kid? How was she able to conceal this for months?" Rasheeda, meanwhile, paced like an animal in a cage, angry tweets tagging her name, desperate texts from pals, and pleading emoticons from Kirk's family filled her phone with messages. "Did you know?" She tapped a message to Joker. "Is that accurate?" JoJo's response surfaced a few seconds later. "I'm finding out." "I have no faith in her. Come to the parking lot and meet me." Rasheeda let out a trembling breath. After a brief moment of hazy vision, she raised her chin with determination. Ready to face whatever was beyond, she walked for the exit. Karlie sagged onto a couch after being led to a private waiting area. Producers were hovering about with their phones. "We need exclusive footage," one producer muttered anxiously. Obtain her response, her justification, anything. Karlie stared at the floor while brushing her hair back. With a voice full of sadness and determination, she whispered, "I did what I had to do. If I remained silent, I couldn't live with myself." The producer gave a nod. "We'll be there for you, but be prepared. Public opinion is brutal. They will call you a variety of names." Fans in the audience stared, some wiping away their tears while others whispered plots. Within minutes, Jacker Kirkfather was trending on Twitter, rising to the top of the global topic list. Fans were writing that Karlie's friendship with Kirk was deeper than anyone realized, that Rasheeda's recent posts revealed secrets, and that Kirk had been acting strange throughout the season. Rumors swirled. Had Kirk rented Karlie a covert apartment? Months ago, did Rasheeda suspect infidelity? Did JoJo know? Though nobody was certain, conjecture fueled the flames. Jock paced outside the studio in a flickering streetlight, his face displaying a mixture of anger and tears. He turned and looked into Rasheeda's eyes as she came, breathless. He started, "Rasheeda!" But she interrupted, her voice strained. "Don't! Keep it! Were you aware of this?" Jock gave a head shake. "I swear I had no idea." Karlie never said a word. She kept it between the lines, the looks, but I thought it was nothing. Rasheeda's jaw clenched. Nothing. My husband could have created a child with my friend, and you thought it was nothing. Some passersby slowed to watch as Jock ran a hand through his hair, exasperated. "Look, I'm sorry. I cherish you. We can fix this." She whirled away, jaw quivering. "We? Fix? I can't even breathe right now. You two lied, both of you. Lying is an art form to you people. Wow, congratulations, you painted a masterpiece." Kirk's sister, Mimi, arrived just in time to see Rasheeda rush away. She discovered Kirk in the parking lot, arms wrapped about himself. "Kirk," she whispered softly, anxiety etching her features. "We need to talk." Kirk turned, eyes rimmed red. "Didn't Karlie say she's sure it's me? I don't remember any night like that." Mimi swallowed. "Kirk, I saw the footage from the reunion. You seemed terrified as she shouted your name. Our mom contacted me an hour ago, weeping, demanding explanations." Kirk buried his head in his hands and slumped against a light. "What even should I say? I have no information that I haven't shared with Rasheeda." Mimi touched his shoulder in consolation. "We'll work it out. Obtain a private DNA test. For now, keep it between us." The presenter took a steadying breath and closed his eyes as he returned to the set. "Karlie, could you please explain the timeline to us? When did you become aware that you might be expecting? And why Kirk?" Karlie took a sip of water and nodded. Her voice was steady yet low as she sipped. "I started experiencing symptoms in January. I assumed it might something to do with nutrition or stress. I became anxious when the results of the first test came back positive. I contacted a physician who performed a blood test. My HCG levels were high, so he ordered a paternity test and advised me to sit down. I waited for weeks, trying to figure out how to give the news to someone. I initially believed it might be Jock's, but the dates didn't match. I then reasoned that it might have been a stranger at a party. However, since Kirk was the only other person I was connected to, I began to think about him. And the results of the second test pointed in Kirk's direction. Her remarks were weighty. Among the audience, there were murmurs. Was it real? Did she actually take tests? The host leaned closer. "Do you have any records?" With a shudder, Karlie reached inside her purse and took out an envelope. "I do. Copy of the laboratory findings. Potential paternity, Kirk Frost, according to the transcript." I've been sitting there in fear. However, I was no longer able to lie. The host gestured for a producer to come on stage, who cautiously accepted the envelope she held out. The cameraman zoomed in on the plain envelope when the producer nodded, creating a brief moment of silent anxiety before returning the envelope. Some people in the audience fanned themselves while crying as a tingling electricity poured through the studio. One murmured, "The family was left divided. This betrayal is the worst I've ever witnessed." The host stared at Kirk, who appeared to be about to faint. "Kirk, what are your thoughts?" Kirk's voice faltered. I'm not sure. I must personally witness comes. Rasheeda sat with her fists clenched around require answers. Right now. Joker, who had stalked back onto the scene, gave Karlie a sneer. What on earth made you wait until now? Did you intend to obtain ratings? And don't even begin. Ratings are not the point of this. This baby's life and my life are at stake. The truth was what I needed, not the attention. To reassure everyone, the host held out a hand. Let's maintain civility. Karlie, Kirk, and Rasheeda. We'll cut to a commercial break before coming back to show the first segment of those test findings. The cameras turned away. Audience members whispered as the actors flinched. Behind the scenes, producers and stylists discussed how to save the segment. One producer snarled, "We have to control this story. The network will collapse if we don't. Manage it properly." Backstage interviews recorded brief excerpts during the break, with one staff member muttering, "I can't believe this," eyes off of it like a train wreck. "I've seen celebrities fight, but pregnancy accusations?" A security guard said. "That's novel," cackled. Rasheeda confronted Karlie in a passage in the dim backstage area while the commercial lights were still on. "Didn't you know what you were doing?" Her eyes were flaming as she snarled. Karlie stood up straight and looked into her eyes. "I couldn't stand it any longer, even though I knew it would hurt you and everyone else. I felt like a phony every time I smiled at you two.